I was born in 1926. There were people like Harold Gatty, Wiley Post were flying around the world, and I was interested in airplanes. I heard about something called NACA, National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics in Hampton, Virginia. And they had something called aeronautical engineers. So that's what I wanted to be. Decided I was going to go to Catholic University School of Engineering. I went to college, got my degree, came to NACA, and I was going to work on helicopters. And he said, "No, you're not going to work in helicopters." "Oh, shucks. You're going to shoot rockets at wallops." "Yes!" "You're going to work in a pilotless aircraft research division where we're testing airplane configurations and components at transonic and supersonic speeds by boosting them on solid propellant rockets." We didn't study supersonics in college, but all of a sudden I'm right in the middle of it. And then the space age came along, Sputnik, NACA became NASA, and I was right there. The ECHO project came along. One of the problems in orbiting the Earth is how much does the atmosphere affect you? The further up you go, the less it is. So we needed to know more about the upper atmosphere. We were going to put ECHO-1, the 100-foot balloon, in orbit.
The inflated balloon is 10 stories high, made of a strong, new aluminized plastic. Strong, yet only half as thick as the cellophane around a package of cigarettes. That balloon will soon be hurtling across the sky 1,000 miles high over North America.
You got to remember the environment. The Russians were ahead of us, and we had to put something out there. But if it had public awareness, that was good. So it was not only a science experiment, it helped establish NASA as a real participant in space.
Engineers of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration are making final preparations to launch one of a series of lunar orbiters.
NASA assigned the Lunar Orbiter project to Langley, a lunar orbiter which was to go find landing sites for Apollo. We got 5 spacecraft in the hope that one of them would work.
As it soars over the desired areas, it will take a series of pictures.
After the 3rd mission, we had so many sites, Apollo didn't want any more. My boss asked, "Well, what are we going to do with number 4 and 5? And I said, "We're going to map the moon." Well, it wasn't designed to map the moon, but we made it work.
Most of the 18 miles of film will be sent to a reassembly facility. Prints of these negatives will form the basis for lunar maps.
We mapped 99% of the moon.
This data, along with the photographs, is vital to landing men on the moon.
The Viking mission was a search for life on Mars. Well, JPL wanted to do Viking, but they were busy with Voyager, so Langley volunteered to do it. JPL was still involved, but nobody had ever done this. In those days, it was breaking the mold. And we launched 2 launches from Canaveral in '75. We've got the first lander down on Mars on July 20th, 1976. The second one had its site up at 45 degrees north. It was as close to the North Pole as we could get because of engineering limitations. It wasn't designed to land at the pole. It was a huge team. There were 700 people in the Viking project. It cost $1 billion, but it worked. We did Mars. They gave us all medals, said, "Congratulations. And by the way, you're never going to work in space again at Langley. Find a job." So I went to work in the hangar. The NTSB sent a telegram out to all the research institutions in the country saying, "Guys, we got a problem. Airliners are crashing due to a lot of things that happen in summer weather. Find out what's happening and what we can do about it." It ended up on my desk. The Storm Hazards Program is what I called it. The elements are precipitation, wind, turbulence, and lightning. We're going to target those. We're going to look at detection, avoidance, design for those factors that you can't avoid, dissemination. Okay, now how are you going to do that? Well, obviously we've got to fly into thunderstorms.
Steady 235, 15,005/9, lightning ahead. I think we got a strike. Direct strike?
I needed to find the thunderstorms.
Oh, that one crackling.
In those days, the weather office made a crude map which came out every hour. But I needed something more immediate.
Okay, loud flash just to the right.
I was looking at the ground weather radar.
Oh, boy, Dallas, I heard 3 rumbles down the airplane. Bam, bam, bam.
And I got the idea. I wanted to uplink that ground weather radar to the F-106 in real time.
Roger, could you try 310?
Roger, 816, turning right to 310.
Next season we were doing that, and it hadn't been done.
Ah, good run.
We flew 200 times. We got struck by lightning 700 times. I retired in January of '86. Started talking to the local FAA liaison office and said, I want to do this cockpit weather data link using satellite. And we got FAA money to start developing the concept. Eventually, WSI, the Weather Channel people, buy it. XM Weather came along, and you can get weather not only in your airplane, on your flat screen, you can get it on your iPhone. National Weather Radar Mosaic is yours for the asking now. I was lucky and thankful, being in the right place at the right time and having some capability to respond to the opportunity.